Good morning and half a day. It is now 11 o'clock a.m. and this public hearing is now called to order. In accordance with the open government law, notices of this hearing were sent to all main media outlets, all senators and stakeholders 5 days in advance on March 21st, 2018, and a second notice was sent out on March 26, 2018. We have here, let's talk about the items for discussion. Today we are going to receive testimony on the appointment of Dr. Jeffrey Johnson, Commissioner of Public Utilities Commission, and Mr. P. Mantanola, who is also the Commissioner of the Public Utilities Commission. We have with us Dr. Jeff Johnson, Mr. Peter Mantanola, and Attorney Fred Harecki. Dr. Johnson will go ahead and do your testimony first, and then we'll move on to Mr. Mantanola. And just for the record, we received testimony from Miguel Bradalio, who is also in favor of both of your appointments. Okay, so Dr. Johnson, and just press the mic. Yeah.
Hi, Senator Nelson. Thank you for welcoming us here today. My name again is Dr. Jeff Johnson. I have been in the community here for 35 years. I've served on this commission for 12 years now, and as its chairman for 10 years. Over that period of time, I think we've accomplished quite a lot. In the early days, we always struggled to have enough commissioners on hand for quorums and so forth, and we're blessed now with having commissioners like Mr. Mantanola and having a full complement of 7. So we're able to conduct our business in a timely and efficient manner now. We have, one thing I think we're all proud of is we've dropped our budget considerations considerably over the last few years. The last 3 years we've seen a reduction in administrative expenses of 10% and reduction in regulatory expenses of more than 50% with basically the same workload. And one of the gentlemen who's been primarily responsible for that is sitting to my left, our legal counsel, Mr. Fred Harecki. I think most of the senators know who I am by now, and I'm not going to state too much about myself today other than that I really appreciate the past times when I've been nominated and unanimously approved by the legislature on 3 separate occasions. And I would look forward to one more term on the commission at this stage.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Attorney Harecki, are you giving testimony? Okay.
Thank you, Chairperson Nelson.
Just go ahead and turn the mic.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Chairperson Nelson. I'm testifying in support of Chairman Johnson to be reappointed to the PUC. I've submitted written testimony, so I won't repeat that whole testimony now, but just to make a few major points as to why I believe that the senator should support his reappointment. Dr. Johnson was really instrumental in reorganizing the commission. As he pointed out, there have been tremendous cost savings in recent years, and that is mostly due to relying on local consultants as opposed to more expensive off-island consultants. And he has reorganized the commission in a lot of ways that have made it more efficient, but also more based upon the opinions and rulings of the commissioners themselves. I think in the old days, the commission often relied upon its consultant opinions exclusively, but now the balance of the power has been returned to where it should be, to the commissioners. They're the ones that make the decisions. As I indicated, he's done a number of things to reorganize the commission, conducting more monthly meetings, for example, and streamlining its operations. But I think more important than that, a lot of the initiatives over the last couple of years have been Dr. Johnson's ideas. He's kind of been the how do I say it, a policy maker or an innovator on the commission. And I can give you a number of examples of that. Requiring a fuel risk management program at GPA, a demand-side management program, looking into time of use rates, and also, I think, the great expansion of solar energy. When Dr. Johnson first came on board, Guam had no solar energy as a part of its system. But now, after a number of years, with the recent new 120 megawatts that GPA is bringing online, there will be over 200 megawatts of solar power. And Dr. Johnson consistently pushed that and required that. I think originally it was in response to legislation that Senator Ben Pangilinan had authored, which established renewable portfolio standards. And the Commission, I think, is happy to report that although the legislature had required that 35% of net electricity sales be renewable energy by December 31st, 2035, GPA is really beating that standard very considerably. It's anticipated that by 2020, 26% of GPA sales will be through renewable energy production. I think Dr. Johnson was really the one that kind of established that focus, and of course, GPA has now been a willing partner to go along with this, establishing that. So he, Dr. Johnson, has really been the idea man for the Commission. Even though he is a busy professional, he has found the time to address all the PUC pending business, and I really think it's important for the continuity of what the Commission's been able to do to continue Dr. Johnson in that role. So I do respectfully request that the legislature approve his reappointment.
Thank you, Attorney Harecki. Mr. Manzanola.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Peter Montanolo. I am a local businessman and native-born resident of Guam. Excuse me. I've had the honor and privilege to serve as a PUC commissioner over the last 6 years. Quite frankly, I can't believe it's been 6 years already. As a newly appointed PUC commissioner, I wasn't sure what was in store for me. With rate oversight on the Guam Power Authority, the GWA, Solid Waste, Port Authority, Telecom, and the Guam International Country Club, I thought I would be overwhelmed with the technical issues that comes with each utility. Fortunately, the committee at the time assured me that with all the professional resources we have available to the PUC, from the ALJ to technical consultants, we would have everything we needed to understand the issues and make the right decisions, and you guys are right. I was excited to jump right in and learn as much as I could and offer my services wherever and whenever I was needed. Today, that excitement still exists. There is still so much to learn. Each industry has its own challenges. However, no matter what the issues are, the most important lesson I've learned is balance. Maintaining a just and reasonable rate without sacrificing the integrity and quality of the utility is in the best interest of all stakeholders. So I come before you today to seek confirmation on my reappointment as a PUC commissioner. If given the opportunity to serve another term, I will continue to work hard and ensure all utilities are accountable and any rate changes are just and reasonable. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Did you have anything, Attorney Harecki, for Mr. Manzanola?
Just briefly again, since
Sure.
I did submit written testimony, but Chairperson Nelson, with Commissioner Montanola, I also think it's very important that he be reappointed. And it was interesting, he mentioned the learning curve when he first came to the commission. I'm there at every meeting, and I have observed Commissioner Montanola's development. And I can say now he's become a member that always pays attention to the proceedings, but asks really good questions of the utilities about what is the process they're using, are their rates justified. But I looked through some of the old minutes, and it's really occurred to me that Commissioner Montanola has met that learning curve and now is a very substantial contributing member to the commission. So he's been very objective in considering rate proceedings, also disputed matters between the telecom companies. I really feel that he's been a fair person. He's objective. He has no pre-assumptions about these matters, but listens carefully and always does what he believes is in the interest of the ratepayers. So he is a very valuable member of the commission, and again, I urge that the legislature reappoint him to that position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank both of you for your service to the community. I do have a question. I know there's been some concern with the proposed combined cycle plant location in Dededo, and now we have in the news lately the development or some plans for a car power ship or an introduction on what it could do. Can you just, for the public at least explain a little bit about perhaps the foresight of this or the impact, or is this going to pause the combined cycle plan on GPA's movement forward, or go ahead, how it will be addressed?
I'm not sure that we're in a position just yet to respond to that. As you're probably aware, GPA is developing a three-phase RFP for the bid for the new power plants. We've been in the position for some time, based upon one of our commissioners, Mr. Niven, who's kind of insisted on it, that the bid be open to as many opportunities as possible, that it not be narrowly defined, and that it be open to whoever can resolve the problem of cheap power in a reliable fashion. I mean, that's in the best interest of ratepayers. So we're kind of in the background. We're observing the process as it's unfolding, but we of course haven't taken any position at this stage, because that's with GPA right now at this juncture. They're just about ready to finish up phase one.
And this is for the RFP?
This is for the RFP. Phase one just involves that the proponents would have not the specific technical expertise, but the ability to provide the service and the financial wherewithal to be able to do it also. So those are the factors on phase one.
And how many phases are there, Dr. Jones?
There are 3 phases.
Can you tell us a little bit about phase 2 and 3?
The second phase would be more of the specifics of the technical aspect of the project, and the third phase would be the pricing. So we'll see what happens with phase one. As we're well aware of, many times with these types of bids, and this is a big one, there'll be challenges to the procurement. So
of course,
it's quite a lot of hoops to jump through, and we're just looking at phase one at this point in time.
Is it normal to, as the RFP develops, is it normal to put the price at the last stage of the RFP?
This bid is not the normal process typically, because it's split up into 3 sections. Mm-hmm. Normally they'd put everything all together, basically. Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, and I'm sure that you received some testimony from our office and some of the things that have been dealt with the utilities, and thank you for entertaining us, and Attorney Jarecki, thank you for always making yourself available for our questions. I really appreciate the work that you do at the CCU, and hopefully moving forward we can continue this partnership to really protect the best interests of the people of Guam. Right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Senator.
It is now 11:14 p.m. This confirmation hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.